Morgan Abel with Abel Realty. I love Jennings County. It's a great place for your children to get an education. Here at the high school, the leadership ensures that your child is ready for a bright, successful future. School safety is the forefront of every parent's mind because we love our kids. And Officer Seth Beville is here at the Jennings County High School maintaining our kids' safety and diffusing any situations that may arise. Let's learn more about you and what made you decide to be a resource officer.
So I was a police officer for 13 years. The opportunity arose for me to come to the school. All my life really I've liked working with kids of all ages. At different points in my life I've had many jobs that also worked with kids. But I just felt like it was a natural thing for me. I like the aspect of possibly being able to teach them and mentor. It's just the hope that I can positively influence them and maybe at least change one student's life.
So how do you work with the teachers and administration to make sure that safety is enforced?
Safety is absolutely number one priority for me. I have many roles to look after, but safety and security is number one. Communication is huge. It's working with the admin, working with teachers. If they see something, we ask them to say something. Communication always is our first go-to there.
How do you build rapport with the students so that if there is a problem, they feel comfortable coming to you and expressing their needs or their concerns?
So one of the best things about this job is I get to get out and actually talk to the kids and be part of their day. So I get out, I talk to them, ask them how their day is going, say hi to them every morning, learning who they are, learning their personalities, learning what they're into, relating to them on a one-on-one level is how I would build rapport with them. I approach every day with, hey, I get to see these guys and girls and see them smiling and hopefully impact their day, even just day to day.
What do you feel like is the biggest challenge or barrier for teens trusting, communicating, and really just their biggest struggle in their day-to-day as a teenager?
With all age ranges and age groups, you have social pressures and expectations. You're coming into adulthood for some of these kids, and they're learning how the real world works, but they're still in school. So socially, they are trying to fit in with their peers, but then they're also worried about the future. They got to worry about their education, where they're going to go to college, maybe where they're going to have a job. You got all kinds of kids with all kinds of backgrounds that are coming into one group and bringing all of their problems and situations into the facility here. So that's another thing you got to worry about as an officer. You got to adapt to that.
So ideally, in a perfect world, what would you want your legacy with these students to be so that when they reflect back in 5-10 years and they think about Officer Beville, what do you want them to remember? When
this group of kids are going through life, maybe I can influence them and they will think, I see that on the news, but not every officer's like that. Officer Beville was a good cop, and I left a positive impact on any of them.
Have you had any student that has particularly touched your heart?
Yes, I've got a couple that are coming to mind that every day they come and find me and say hi. And there's a couple that I go and look for because I'm trying to make sure that they're okay, because they may be coming from a bad home life. But yeah, I have a few that I'm thinking of right now that maybe are just needing a big brother or a father figure.
So life is all about balance, and especially this job, because how do you balance being the enforcer of rules, but also a supporter to help them overcome these obstacles and still get the education that they need? So
I mentioned security and safety being the first priority. The next priorities are kind of threefold. The second, third, and fourth things that we focus on are mentorship, teaching, and then lastly is law enforcement. So really, even though I'm a police officer and out on the road, I would be enforcing laws first. Here, that's kind of the last seat priority. It's still important and it's still part of the whole picture, but I'm more focused on building relationships and being a positive role model and giving advice when needed or asked. But also, yes, I do have to enforce laws because kids still break the rules and break laws, unfortunately.
So what do you do to stay up to date with the best practices for school safety?
It's no different really for any other officer. I try to stay abreast of law changes, case law changes. Every day the law and how the law is viewed in the court system, it changes. So reading up on articles that might come out, or watching videos of other body cam from all across the nation, just looking at different situations and thinking about those situations, how I might react. I also attend training as much as possible. There are other SRO specific trainings I'm hoping to get into and advance my skill set. I mentioned basic SRO, but now there's other stuff that I can go on and further learn from. Every year I attend a conference as well, where all the SROs there's a national and a state conference, so they're all SRO officers. So we go and we learn multiple topics. Guest speakers is just a week-long thing. It's really cool.
So what protocols are in place to help protect the students and the staff in case of some type of emergency?
So the building and the campus is a closed campus. We secure the doors after a certain amount of time in the morning. Once all the kids are in class, the bells have rang, the doors are locked. We check the doors multiple times a day. Multiple faculty members are part of that team that go around and physically check and make sure the doors are shut in case of like an active threat comes into the building or gets into the building. God forbid that ever happens, but it's put in place and ready to go if that ever happens. People coming and going are monitored. They have to be buzzed in by the main office. They check in. We take down the names of who's coming and going, and even students, who's leaving, who's being checked out.
After the kids graduate and they get a new job or continue on with their education, what is one piece of advice that you hope stays within them and that they carry on?
That they mattered to everyone here, myself, every teacher, every staff member, every single person in this building cares about them and their future, their education, where they came from, where they're going. Not only that I could influence them positively, but they are influencing me in a positive way too. And they're adapting me as I go. What
is something that you want parents to know? Because their kids are here with you for 8 hours a day. What is something that you want those parents to know?
That I care about their kids. I'm not out here to be the bad guy. I want to be a positive example of what a police officer can be. And yes, I have a job to do, but firstly, my main priority is that your kids are safe. And that they're having a good experience in high school.
Whether you're in the market to buy a house or you just want to learn more about the community, be sure to follow Able Realty, Jennings County's premier listing brokerage, as we unveil the beauty, charm, and opportunities that truly make this the best place to live, work, and explore.